In Dishonored 2, one of the targets is a man named Kirin Jindosh, a brilliant inventor from Karnaca, who is a co-conspirator in the usurpation of Emily Caldwin's throne by supplying turncoats with clockwork soldiers, which helped overpower the crown's loyalists. There are two ways to eliminate Jindosh in the game. One is to straight up kill him, of course. The other is to elaborately knock him out, put his unconscious body in a nearby electrocution chair that he himself invented, and zap his mind away, which I think is a lot worse than death, because the protagonist leaves him as a bag of useless flesh, and can be heard struggling to remember even the most basic of what he used to know.
And if I combine the acid against a copper plate, what does it do? I knew that a moment ago. Does anyone know the answer?
Whichever of the two you choose to go for, I think getting rid of the Grand Inventor is a huge mistake, for a number of reasons. For one, he is naturally talented. Even without receiving the mark of the outsider, Kirin was able to design and build mechanical wonders that some ended up being widely used, like the version of the audiograph machine. He also pushed forward what was possible in design and architecture, like the elaborate product demonstration that is his mansion. To lose such a mind is a waste, with all the potential things he could do, not only in engineering, but in several fields of study as well. More on that later. 2. He's not always been a bad guy. Let's hear what the outsider said about him.
I'll tell you a story about Kirin Jindosh, a prodigy from Karnaca. Self-taught, he was hailed by the Academy of Natural Philosophy as a genius who would surpass Sokolov and bring about an age of enlightenment. But just 2 years after his arrival, he was banned from the Academy for life, for reasons that are still not public. When they deported him, he left behind a machine that drank seawater, playing music that brought listeners to tears. They promptly took it apart, and it has never worked since.
This informs us a little bit about his psyche before the Academe kicked him out. More importantly, in a diary page found in the Clockwork Mansion, which belongs to Jindosh, entitled Unfinished Letter on Legacy, it says that he holds no personal grudge against Dunwall's leaders. Kirin simply wants to build things that would immortalize his name throughout history long after he's gone. So, here's my suggestion at how the mission should have played out. Our protagonist, Corvo in this case, goes into the mansion. He makes sure Jindosh does not know who the intruder is by slipping through the walls as they activate, and goes about doing his mission quietly.
Who would build something like this? And why? The space behind the walls.
Someone's activated one of the mechanisms in my house. Hello? Anyone there? I knew I wasn't mistaken. You skulked about for a time, but in the end your animal curiosity got the better of you. I challenge you to come find me. Take whatever you seek, but all along the way, and I'll have your body carried to my lab for dissection.
He knocks out the guards,
You were so close just a while ago, but now I wonder...
rescue Sokolov,
Jindosh.
destroy all clockwork soldiers, and read the diary page we talked about earlier. When he finally faces him, he knocks out Jindosh in one-on-one combat and places him on the chair,
You've seen my magnificent home, so...
He then activates the machine, but when he says,
No! You don't know what you're doing! Anything! I'll give you anything you want! Stop! Don't do this! No more!
there should be a prompt that would shut off the device. Corvo then removes his mask and tells Jindosh something along the lines of, "Now you know what I'm capable of. When all of this madness is over, you will swear loyalty to Emily Caldwin, or I will come back here and take away your mind, one way or another." Now, why would Corvo or Emily want to recruit him? For 3 reasons. First, Dunwall is in ruin after the events of the second game. They need his help in order to optimize repairs and or make improvements to key structures in case of another attack. Second, Dunwall has a serious problem with power generation. Their territory has always been reliant on whale oil. Since the first game, oil rationing is applied to its citizens, which is already not a good sign. By the second game, we have reports that whales are becoming rare, most likely because they're being hunted faster than they could reproduce. Dunwall needs an alternative power source, and with Jindosh's help, he could build an optimized version of the windmills seen throughout Karnaca, utilizing the sea breeze that comes into their land. Or maybe he had already found an alternative fuel, in the form of seawater, just like his instrument-playing invention the Outsider talked about, that just needs to be upscaled. Third, it is not far-fetched to think that Corvo or Emily would entertain the idea of having their own squad of mechanical soldiers, especially Corvo, who's been betrayed and knocked out by his own guards twice.
And then I'll bring him to Coldridge Prison until his trial.
The two could even expand on the idea and send a letter to their old friend Sokolov, asking for schematics to optimize their cost, which Jindosh is certain could be done.
My clockwork soldiers have played their part, but each costs more coin than a wealthy man sees in a lifetime.
It could take years to find a solution on my own, but if Sokolov can be tamed, together we might refine the process, making new clockworks at a fraction of the cost.
From a squad, their number could grow into an entire company of loyal, unfaltering, merciless units that would deter any future attempts at insurrection. So, what do you think? Is Kirin Jindosh a mind too dangerous to keep loose? Or did the island of Dunwall, and maybe by extension the entire Isles, lost a valuable asset that would bring about a new age of enlightenment? Write your comment down below. I post video game related content every week, usually linked to a title I'm currently playing or about games in general. So if you found this video interesting, consider subscribing to my channel and leaving a like. And if you wish to further support my channel, I left a link down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.